So, after some thinking, I've decided to name my new Siamese fighting fish, Eclipse. I currently lack the funds for a proper aquarium with heating plus filter, and keeping them in bowls is frowned upon, but I'm currently working on some sort of temporary home. Any assistance is appreciated. Update 1. Hey mates, it's me again. An update on Eclipse, good news and bad news. The good news is the makeshift tank is doing well, and he seems fine for the moment. The bad news is that my aunt is trying to get rid of him. She thinks, in her exact words, "Oh, it's just one of those fish meant to be in a tiny bowl, it's only going to last a few months anyway. Why the hell does it need a 5-gallon tank and a heater? That's raising my water bill." It's annoying because she sees it as, "Oh, you're just a kid, and I've been on this earth longer, so I'm smarter than you. It's already hard enough to keep Eclipse alive until his aquarium gets here, which should be later on today, and now I have my aunt attempting to literally unalive him. I've already tried explaining it to her normally. Please help me save him. How do I convince her that Eclipse needs what he needs? This is my first pet, unless you count the dog I got for Christmas but sadly passed away, and I want to make sure that it can live the best life possible." Update 2. I'm so pissed right now. My girlfriend was generous enough to give me her old 30-gallon aquarium along with everything I needed for Eclipse. I left 2 hours early from school to move him into his new home, only to come home to find that my aunt took it upon herself to dismantle the makeshift tank that I had for him. The sponge filter, air pump, coffee mug, heater, everything gone. Just his lifeless body sitting in a giant plastic storage bin full of freezing water, lying in the middle of my freaking bedroom floor. And when I confronted her about it, she simply said, "I told you you didn't need all that crap." That's what fish do, they swim and unalive. Why can't people just realize that these fish actually matter to people? I'm so livid right now, literally on the verge of tears. I'm afraid of buying another one because I don't want the same thing to happen twice. I couldn't even get to experience having a healthy fish. It's not fair. I can never win. Rest in peace Eclipse, who lasted as long as its namesake. Edit. Screw her. Once she left to run errands, I went into the living room and grabbed her picture of her deceased grandfather, the only thing she has left related to him, and I dismantled the frame, bit by bit. And when she comes back home, where's she gonna find the picture? At the bottom of the bin, torn to shreds, in freezing cold water, in the middle of her bedroom floor. Sure, it might be a fish, but it was my fish, my money, my joy. Literally unalived for no good reason. Well, tonight she's gonna learn just how little things can make a big difference. Swim in peace, Eclipse. Update 3. About 2 hours after I last posted, she got home and saw the carnage of my actions, and I never heard such a shrill scream in my life. What makes it worse is that I couldn't help but smile. You see, this isn't the first time she's disregarded something of mine. This will be the last though. What makes this different is that a living animal is involved. She ridiculed my girlfriend in public. She took $100 my cousin got for me for my birthday and held on to it. That was a year and a half ago and I still never got it back. She misplaced a scrapbook full of letters from my mother during her stay at the nursing home. She passed away in 2019, and none of those incidents got responses from me. At the time, I thought everything was happening for a reason. But this was the last time I was going to sit there and do nothing about it. You see, I've learned something about people. The only language that everyone truly knows and understands is violins. Anyway, she started crying, cried so much, she could fill her own damn aquarium. Once she got done bawling her eyes out, she stormed into my room and questioned me about it. I simply told her, "Doesn't feel good, does it? To have your precious things disregarded? I bet it doesn't. Besides, didn't your grandpa hate you because you refused to look after his grandson? He never wanted to see you again, and that includes beyond the grave." She then proceeded to threaten to have me arrested for destruction of property. I argued that I could do the same for animal cruelty. After an hour or so of this, she finally said, "One day you're gonna learn to stop touching people's crap," and proceeded to leave the room. I responded, "And you learned that lesson today. Was that disrespectful?" "Oh, for sure. You can call me a monster, a jerk, a demon, a piece of crap, all of the above for all I care. None of that stopped me from having something I haven't had in a while, a good night's sleep." Now, some people were saying that the fish was as good as gone anyway. And yes, I bought the fish without knowing what it needed, so I went to my friends over at r/Betafish, and they gave me the idea of a makeshift tank. And yes, everything was perfectly safe for Eclipse. The plastic storage bin was cleaned and rinsed and filled with room temperature water, along with a water conditioner. It had the coffee mug to hide in, the sponge and air pump as the filter, and a small heater next to it. It even had some sand in it. Sure, it wasn't the best thing, but I can assure you, if she didn't touch that tank, Eclipse would still be alive today. You can also argue that I only had it for a day. Why does that matter? If you had a puppy for a day, and your loved one took away everything it needed and left it outside, how would you feel? Some people would say they aren't the same thing, but they are. They're living beings, creatures that could have lasted years, things that people love, things that people care for. If that makes me a psychopath, then lock me the F up because I'm sick of people disregarding my belongings. Swim in peace, Eclipse. Note, I think I need to point out that my aunt doesn't own the house, my uncle does. And he already told me I'm not going anywhere, so I don't need to worry about that. Update 4. Hey mates, it's me, the psycho fish guy again. Hopefully, this is the last time I have to post things here because I'm honestly sick of all of this. So anyway, a couple of things have happened since the last post. For one, I told my girlfriend what I've done, and she, like a lot of you, wasn't very impressed. She said it was necessary to put my foot down, but destroying what was left of her grandfather didn't make me any better than her. And although I wasn't concerned about being the better person, now that I've had the time to process the whole thing, she has a point. Sure, her grandfather was an absolute slob of a human being who spent most of his life in prison for intimate-related crimes and honestly hated her existence. But that was her ancestor, not mine. And who knows what memories they could have had when I wasn't on this earth. Probably not much, but I guess there's nothing wrong with loving a monster. Plus, there were several alternatives of revenge I could have done. I could have replaced her picture with one of Eclipse and hidden the other one. I could have just destroyed the frame to cause minimal damage. I could have even made a photocopy of it and torn it to give her a little scare but not leave any permanent scars. But I didn't, and the fact that destroying essentially her family relic was the first thought I had, and I didn't even reconsider it for a single second or even feel bad when hearing her in straight anguish, actually has me concerned. So that's why I've talked to my uncle about getting into therapy of some sorts. I don't want to end up the same person as my aunt. And since we are on the topic of my aunt, she's gone. Just about an hour and a half ago, I got a call from my uncle. He told me that, for my and his safety, she is no longer welcome at this home. And by the time I get home today, she and all her belongings will be out of the house. Kinda ironic, isn't it? I don't know if they got into an argument, or if he found out about something, or maybe he's been trying to find an excuse to do this for a while. Note, they are not married, so it's not gonna be a divorce. And to put it frankly, I don't know how to feel. I feel like crap because I know this is all my fault. Maybe if I didn't get so angry and were a better person, this wouldn't have happened. But at the same time, maybe this is the start of a new beginning. Maybe I can spend the last of my childhood in peace and not have to worry about privacy or boundaries. And as for my aunt, part of me hopes she gets hit by a bus and becomes left to rot. But another part of me genuinely wishes the best for her. After all, she wasn't always a bad person. We actually had some great moments in life. Hopefully, she can reunite with her family and find some other item of her grandfather's. I doubt it, but it's always nice to have faith. At the end of the day, I think this is honestly the best way this could have ended. No one got hurt, no one is in trouble with the law, and no one is homeless. That last one is a bit iffy, but I doubt my uncle would put her out if she didn't have nowhere else to go. Long story short, I could have done something far less harmful, but that's the only way some people learn, fire with fire. And I wanted to address some things. I'm 17 years old, and I'll be 18 in a few months. I plan on getting another fish, but not at least for another 6 weeks so we can properly set up everything. I think I'm gonna leave it at my girlfriend's house just to be safe. I was thinking of naming it Daybreak, but I don't know yet. To the people who were saying I need therapy, I can't thank you enough. For once, I feel that I'm going to get some help that will help me further down the road. Swim in peace, Eclipse.